The air itself whispers differently upon the arrival of December. There is a stillness that feels that there is history there. It almost feels ancestral, as if the air itself remembers that it means to gather, to welcome, to return to each other. And it's in that soft glow that Meghan steps into this Christmas special, offering not a performance, but a homecoming, a reminder that hospitality, true hospitality, is a language of love, not of presentation. So let me ask you this before we begin. When was the last time someone welcomed you not with perfection, but with intention? That is the heart of this episode. And that is what Meghan invites us into. Welcome. This is Majesty Sussex Report, and I'm Antonio. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us.
Laughter with a touch that feels like home. Come gather round, pull up a chair. You'll never be alone. With love, with love, Meghan. Hear the bells, hear them ring. From a warm spiced cookie to a carol you can sing. In the snow or in the rain, a little cheer, a dash of heart. She brings the joy again.
We begin in the quiet of a Christmas tree farm. Meghan walks among evergreens with Ruth, the tree spotter, in search of an 8 or 9 foot tree. No pretense here, no royal performance. Just a woman who loves Christmas, who loves the holidays. Speaking of ornaments as memory keepers, of stories embedded in every glittering piece. She speaks of light, how she strings it from within first, then around the borders. I do the same. You want to find the placement where there's going to find their light, where they're going to find their light, she says. And you almost wonder if she's still speaking about ornaments or if she's quietly reminding us of something more human. It's the smallest line, but it's a thesis of her life. Help people find a place where their light shows. Remember what they said in regards to the Archwell Foundation? We want our philanthropy to highlight those that need it. And if you remember Megan saying, if this kind of spotlight is going to be on us, on me, all the time, then I'm going to make sure that we speak about, talk about, and highlight charities, organizations, people who need to be highlighted. Isn't that great? So in that line alone, I was able to hear what she was saying, but also feel what she was saying. Tell me, did you catch any of that at the beginning? Did you feel that sense of when she was talking about the light, the stringing the lights on, and she said, make sure, you know, you want the light to fall and sort of hit the ornament so it can shine a certain way. The tree, the Christmas tree, becomes a metaphor for lineage, for belonging, and the memories we carry. And in this opening alone, Meghan sets the moral tone of the entire special. Tradition isn't inherited, it's created. It's created. There's always, she said, there's always a time to begin, to start something new, start a new tradition. Always. So beautifully done. And the one thing, or one of the other things, that really just allow you as the audience, as the person watching, to settle in nicely is when she said, look, you don't need to make this picture perfect. This is not for some set or magazine. It's yours. It's your tree. It's your family's Christmas tree. Let it reflect you, your family. Let it shows the memories, right? So there's sort of specials of holiday specials, Christmas specials, where we see these absolutely perfect everything. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there is a permission that Meghan throughout the entire series, season one, season two, and there is going to be a season three. There better be. She is giving us permission in so many ways to say this sort of perfection that you're being sold, whether it's on social media or magazines, TV shows, it's not something you need to do. You can elevate what you're doing by making simple changes, taking your takeaway food instead of eating it out of the container, plate it. Simple things. And what those simple things do is that it calms our spirit. It truly does. Because the hecticness, the trying to keep up with the Jones and the Martins and the whoever else, here is a Duchess who is saying to all of us, you know what's really special? The way you do it. The way you are going to take what I'm saying and customize it so it represents you, your values, your family. Beautiful. And for those that don't understand that or didn't get that, what can I say? There's perhaps love missing in your heart and in your soul. Perhaps. I'm not here to judge. Now the house shifts into the bustling hum of holiday preparation. Meghan has invited Will Guidara, renowned restaurateur and author of Unreasonable Hospitality, a very good book. A book she has gifted to more friends than she can count. I mean, Will says things like the deepest value of a gesture or gift lies less in its cost and more in how seen, valued, and delighted the recipient will feel. Hospitality can feel sometimes selfish, he says, in in the best way, because helping others feel good is itself an intensely rewarding experience. Isn't that so true? When you know that whatever you've done, and you've done it with intention, you've done it, and the recipient sees the value, sees that you see them, it's incredible. And one of the things that I often think about is I'm going to paraphrase this a, a little of sort of part of his of Will's philosophy, that the way you handle one small detail is a reflection of how you handle everything. Precision and intentionality in tiny moments compound into excellence overall. And that is something that in many ways sometimes is it's sort of a part of my own guiding light, but sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not that great. I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to execute, right? One of the things I've said many times um, is I get very obsessive in what I present to you folks, right? And how the design looks and how the graphic looks. And I will spend 2 hours on a minute thing that perhaps no one will ever notice. But to me, because I see it, and my intention is to always show up with not perfection, but with providing the best that I've got at that moment. You know what I mean? It reminds me of a very, very famous quote that my mentor, because she certainly is my mentor, she doesn't know she has been my mentor for many years, is when the great Maya Angelou said, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Isn't that so true? I mean, you could go to a restaurant, or you can be invited to a dinner or a soiree or whatever, and they may have the most expensive food or the most um, elaborate decor, and none of that will matter if you feel not welcome, if you feel uneasy, if the air is heavy. You know what I mean? And what you will remember is not the caviar or the, you know, the lobster or any of that. What you will remember is how you felt, because how we feel has a direct reaction into our body, into the pores of our skin. Because you can walk into a room and you know when you feel the hair on your hands or whatever stand up, or a situation, or when someone is speaking to you and there's this certain unease that happens, that's your body reacting, saying, it's time for us to go. We remember. We remember how people make us feel. And here is where the sort of hybrid structure begins in this series, in this special. A guest enters, but Meghan guides the theme. She decides to greet him with gyogores flavored like cacio pepe, because she knows he loves that pasta dish. but she doesn't go over the top. She brings creativity, not spectacle. This is a masterclass in intention. In intention. Because again, we often think, because we've been told so many times, you have to do this big thing, this big kerfuffle. And Meghan is saying, no, no, you don't need the big kerfuffle. What you need is intention. What you need is that to integrate these these small gestures, these small moments, and they build. You know, the audience think about how we, as we're watching this, what are the things that we can do for the people in our lives and the people we love? And how does us knowing the people we've got close relationships with, how does it elevate, enhance our relationship with them when we do something with intention, when we do something that speaks to that person? I saw a very funny advert not too long ago. Actually, I think I saw it maybe about 3 or 4 days ago. And it's a office gift exchange. And the one guy, the name he picks out of the hat or whatever is the boss, right? And he looks up from his cubicle, and she looks very, very sort of square, and the way sometimes bosses are, and the way people believe they need to behave or dress or or be in order to command authority, right? So he's probably thinking, what the heck am I going to get this woman? And he just goes on and he starts to he does some research. He's looking at her social media stuff, and this all of a sudden, this sort of very square boss looking lady, he realizes that she loves a certain rock and roll band, right? And he does some more research to find a unique gift that would bring her back to a memory of her teenage years, her young adult years. And she opens the box, and there it is, 4 funny, cute figurines of the members of this band. And she looks at him, he looks at her, and they both smile, and they do the sign that usually band members would actually do. And I mean, this big smile, the connection, there was intention. There was some intention. I mean, most of us, many times, what people end up doing is just going and buying a nice bottle of wine or champagne or something, right? But here there was intention, and that is what throughout the series, Meghan keeps bringing to us, trying to reprogram us in the way we think. In the way we think. Do something with intention. Know the person. As she cooks, the kitchen becomes sort of a classroom. Milk, butter, pepper, flour, whisk into a dough that looks like fondue. Fondant, as she jokes. And listen, I get her silly humor because it's sort of like this silly, nerdy thing that if you've got that personality, you just it just comes out naturally. And to be honest, not everyone will get it. Because I know when I've done things like that and I've tried to make connections and try to be silly, and sometimes it is, well, it kind of lands flat, but to me it was funny, and I giggle and I laugh. And whoever's next to me or around me, they're like, "That was not funny, Antonio." And I'm like, "Well, maybe not for you, but I I certainly see the humor in it." And I love it. I love those little pieces, those little moments when she's doing, "Oh no, fondue, fondant." That's so silly, but funny. So pecorino and parmigiano, parmesan folded in. The minute she said folded in, I don't know if you folks have watched um Schitt's Creek. And there's an episode, a scene where um Myra and oh shoot, what was his character's name again? David, yes, David. When David and Myra are cooking, and, and he goes, "It says here fold the cheese. What does it mean to fold the cheese?" And she's like, "Well, to fold the cheese, to fold the cheese." Neither one of them know what it means. And he kept saying to her, "If you say one more time, fold the cheese, this is your recipe. Tell me what needs to get done. What does it mean to fold the cheese?" And she's like, "Well, David, I can't help you if you don't know what it means to fold the cheese." She has no idea what it means. It's the funniest thing ever, because his frustration and her pretense of trying to pass this as a family recipe that she's perhaps made many times, but she has no idea what folding the cheese means. So the second they said folding the cheese of folded, I just started laughing because I connected immediately to that scene in Schitt's Creek. um so folding the cheese, and then the piping bag, spinning, sort of spinning stories, right? As much as pastry, because I think many times that is what we're doing. That is what we're actually creating when we do things with intention. When we um I don't even want to say go the extra mile, because it's not so much going the extra mile. It's it's caring. It's caring for the people or the person that is in your ecosystem, is in your um uh love, care ecosystem. It's really and truly caring. It's hug, that warm hug, even for a person that perhaps you're meeting for the first time. It's showing that you care. It's it's real. It's the antithesis of that cold tabloid caricature of Meghan that the British media tries to spin every day, day in, day out. Here we see a woman who is grounded, and it moves me, grounded in joyfulness, in being present, in caring, and day in and day out, they fabricate these stories about her. They go on these shows 24/7, berating her, calling her every name there is in the book of a woman that just wants to bring some joyfulness, happiness. A woman who is trying to tell us that we don't need to step on that hamster wheel that society has told us we need to be on. That wheel that makes us stressed out, sick, that creates distance between us and the people that we love, that we care for. That tells us that money buys everything when it doesn't. A woman doing good in a time where we've never needed more good in this world. And we have these evil spirits, these evil souls, day in, day out, spew hatred, pure hatred, into the air we breathe, into the atmosphere, to convince you that she is nothing, that what she's saying to you, you should not listen to it. Does it not make you pause to think why they try so hard to bring her down? Why they try so hard to make you believe that she's something that she is not? Because the messaging that she has is dangerous. It is dangerous to people like them and the people that they obey and pray to. Dangerous. Because kindness in this world heals the world, heals it. So we don't have youngsters who show up at hotels where there are migrants and families, little kids, mothers, women who are fleeing from horrendous things, children who have seen things they should not have been seen. They show up to burn a hotel down with women and little children in it. Because you see, those people have been fed that good dosage of hatred, of poison. And the only medicine to it is what Meghan is teaching. It's what Meghan is trying to elevate, to show us and tell us, listen, there is another way. There certainly is another way. Clear your mind, your head from that nastiness that they've continuously been feeding you. Because love and kindness is the only solution. I mean, what else is there? People work so hard to impress. They forget the reason guests come. They come to connect. Oh, what a sentence. What a phrase. People work so hard to impress. They forget the reason guests come. They come to connect. I mean, don't get me wrong. They are those who show up at your place and they're looking around and they're going, mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't put that there. Oh, you couldn't afford the real one? Oh, I see. You know, there are those. You know what I say to those? That was the first and the last invitation you'll ever get. Going back to my mentor, Maya Angelou, she said at one point, her home is her sanctuary. She can have guests in her home. And the minute they start to say racist, homophobic, rudeness, any of those things, that is going to impede the flow, the lightness of the air, the beauty, the joy of connecting with other people, the second a minute. She goes, she gets the coat of the person, she says, beloved. She guides him to the door and she says, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Goodbye. Oh, I said that to my mother once. Well, I didn't tell my mother to leave or anything. I told her this about my Angela. And my mother said, oh, I should have known that many years ago, because there were people I would have gladly shown the door to. But it is true. It is true. We feel this sort of, oh, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird. No, 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 no. Your home is your sanctuary. Your peace. Your peace. The energy in your home. The air in your home. It's important. It's what you breathe. It's what you breathe. The words that are said in your home. It's what goes into the pores of your skin and it stays there. Remember, we always remember how people made us feel. Always. The other phrase I was said was, there's nothing more stressful than watching a stressed out host or hostess. Trust me, that is so true. There's many a times I've gotten up and I said, please let me help. No, I'm fine. I said, listen. It will bring me joy to help you. Please let me help. Just tell me what to do and I'll get it done. And it certainly brings me joy. It really does. Because I want to see the person with that I'm invited to be in company with. To be more relaxed. That we can have a decent conversation. That we can connect. These lines land because they dismantle everything the media, the press weaponizes against her. For years now, 8+ years, the tabloids print her as demanding, difficult, perfectionist. But here she tells the truth with calm resolve. She tells the truth. It's up to you if you believe it or not. But there it is. Connection over performance. Being present over perfection. This, my friends, is the Sussex philosophy in real life. The Duchess of Sussex, her philosophy in real life. In a seamless transition, Meghan and Will shift into making Christmas crackers. Those small British holiday favorites tied with jokes, confetti, and sentimental trinkets. If you haven't done it, I don't think it's... We have it here in Canada. I'm not sure if it's known in the US all that much, but the same sort of thing as in the UK, it's done here also in Canada. But I mean, not everyone does it, right? But many people do. And I love it. I love the whole thing, and it pops, it makes that sound, and we're all trying to find a little silly trinket thingy to see what toy we will get. My favorite thing, though, is that they come sometimes with like a hat, like a paper crown or whatever hat that you put on. And at that moment in time when everyone have their hats, it's just the most divine ridiculousness. and I love it. I absolutely love it. That's just gonna make me get emotional now. It's those simple, silly things that has a way of when the memory comes back to you, makes you smile. Reminds you of perhaps the empty chair that will not be there this year, of that person that has been called home. The silly, simple things are the things we remember the most. And again, Meghan teaches with quiet purpose. Personalizing a cracker isn't just a craft. It is a gesture of belonging. She shares memories from the UK, arms crossed, everyone pulling together. A synchronized bust of community. It's a memory she carries not as a royal artifact, but as a moment of human connection. I've seen the headlines. I've seen the headlines of the soulless and the rot in their minds that have criticized even that moment in the special. Even that moment. Incredible, isn't it? Incredible and so sad. Then something sweet happens. Will's wife, Christina Tusi, phones in, or rather he phones her, I think. Just for a moment. But it's enough to remind us how interconnected these friendships are. How joy multiplies. I love when Will is like, no, I don't like that one. It was my first one. I don't like how I'm going to do another one. I'm going to start over because now at least I know how to do it. I'm like, that's me. That's me. That'll be me. Absolutely me. This is where I think she invites us continuously to pause, to just sort of relax and do your thing. Do your thing. Now let me ask you this. What tiny traditions have shaped you the most? What things do you remember, or that you've continued to do with your family, or that you miss doing, or perhaps you will start a new tradition? The ones that no one else would sort of understand, perhaps, unless you are an insider, unless you're in the circle. What would that be? I mean, mine is silly. At least I think it's silly. But we opened gifts on the 24th. And right as midnight strikes, boom, you wait for that 1 minute after midnight, and you come running from wherever you are, whether you're in your room or in the kitchen or wherever else. So our tradition was that you were allowed to open one gift. And then if you had more than one, then you opened your other gifts the following day. But it was just really great to open that one gift and appreciate what you received. The tone shifts. Meghan walks onto the set in pajamas, laughing. Ladies, this is how much I love my friends. And don't we do things for our friends that perhaps we don't want to do, even though Meghan looks freaking fantastic. And all of them do. It's just a reunion, a gathering of friends. Now, that sort of entry is dismantling. It is warm. It is intimate. This is the sisterhood, or part of the sisterhood, that Meghan has. That sisterhood that the British tabloids told you didn't exist. But guess what? It does. And it's real. You see, Meghan shows us real life. Those people over there, they invent things, they create things. It's a fantasy of their creation. It's not her real life. Here they are, 17 plus years of friendship, the tender affection, the ease of familiarity, the laughter. Lindsay, Kelly. The brunch is richly textured, a cinnamon star pastry twisted like a snowflake. That word drives me crazy. Snowflake. I think it's just triggering. I worked for an organization at one point, and part of our team building exercise, we were told we were all snowflakes. And I thought, really? Are we? But then the person who was leading this team building exercise said, because like snowflakes, you're all unique. And I thought, well, okay, all right, you got me there. You got me there. You're wheeling me back. Mini Quiche, Lorraine, and Florentine. I love, let me say this again. I haven't said it completely, but let me say it. Listen carefully. This is very importante. And I don't know why I said importante con that kind of accent, but very important. I love mini quiches. I love them. There hasn't been a mini quiche that I've met that I did not love. Now, let me tell you something. When I've been at an event, a function, and there are mini quiches, I just like the excitement in my palate is just like, oh yes, it's gonna be mini quiches. And I'm trying to be, a person you can take out into society. So you see the server sort of like has the mini quiches, and the server's kind of walking around. And you're like, okay, come over here, and with that time that they're walking towards you or the group of people you're with, I am having this entire debate in my head, right? With that other personality of mine that is like, okay, so we're gonna grab three, or maybe we should grab four, because like if they have like the ones with the little bacon stuff, and if they have the ones with the little this and if they have different types, then we're gonna grab one of each, okay? And I'm like, yeah, but that's gonna look. I don't want to do that. It's not gonna. Oh yeah. It's not gonna look good. Okay. Maybe three. Okay. No one will say anything if we grab only three. And I'm like, okay, settled. Grabbing three little mini quiches, and the server gets close, and the server hands you the hands you the serviette, and then you go to pick up the quiche. So I take the serviette, oh, thank you. And I grab one quiche and I said, thank you very much. And then you see the waiter just starts to walk. And the other side here, the other personality of me is like, you coward, you coward. I can't believe you didn't take it. I just, Oh my gosh, it is such it is, and I'm just like delicately taking the little quiche to my mouth, and I'm like, this is so good. And my other personality is like, you coward. We agreed we were going to take three. And I'm like, I can't, I just can't. You don't want to be that person who's known, like, Hi. So besides the mini quiches, they did baked pears and champagne, champagne touched with pomegranate syrup. That just like yum 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 yum, delicious, absolutely delicious. I mean, even the dog was like, "Hello, I'm here. What's going on? I want to be part of this party. Can I have some PJs too?" That's really great. But it's the conversation, right? It's the conversation that holds the marrow, the conversation that brings you together. These women speak of tradition, motherhood, exhaustion, delight, and the small grace notes that makes holidays feel whole. And one thing I took notice to, and I wonder if you folks did also. I took notice to how Megan moves. She is not the center of attention. If you look at the way she moves, if you're paying attention to it, she is the gravitational field that allows others to shine. She really does. Really does. Now, that sits in complete contrast with what the British media would like you to believe. Because you see, their obsession with painting her as a spotlight, I'm not going to say the other word, right? Another word for streetwalker. They also call her a social climber. But here we see the truth. Here we see the person. She's presenting to us the truth, not this caricature, this fantasy that they've created and that they sell and some people buy. You see, the thing here is that Meghan Sussex, the Duchess of Sussex, is building a table large enough for everyone to sit at that table. For these two past seasons, if you haven't taken notice, please do. She's building a table large enough for everyone to sit. It's not coincidence that she tells us, show up as you are. It's okay. Show up with intention. It doesn't have to be something grandeur and something extravagant. It could be the most simplest thing, the simplest thought. Show up. Do good. Show up as you are. Showing up alone is where the fire starts. It's where the fire starts. Showing up. You don't need to make a big kerfuffle about it. She's building a table large enough for everyone to sit at. Look at the variety of her guests, the people she speaks with. Look at it. And we move into what I think in so many ways symbolizes that thing of showing up as you are, and together we make something beautiful. When they gather to make wreaths, and I so want to do this, by the way, I actually went out and I bought 3 wreaths. I kept thinking, I thought you're gonna like buy the stuff and make your own wreaths, and I was like, they're they're, they're there. It was a good price. It's like, okay, so I bought 3 of them. I'm going to hang them possibly later today or tomorrow, right? But those wreaths, their symbolism is becoming in some ways richer as we notice, as you add these elements, branches wired together, simple elements transforming this thing into something beautiful. How these different parts come together, and it's tradition being made. It's not inherited, it's tradition being made, starting, starting. Being able to do those things, to create those beautiful wreaths, is just absolutely wonderful. Now let me ask you this. Let me get you involved. Who, we all have chosen family, and at that time, for 5 plus years, we got together. We did our Christmas caroling. We went out and we did our thing. We give back, um, and wrapping those gifts and stuff. It was just really, really an experiences that I'll never forget. I treasure enormously. So, who would you, in your chosen family, would you want to make wreaths with? Right? Who would you want to invite for cinnamon star pastries at 10 a.m. in the morning? Who would you like to have in your company?